Next generation weather forecaster Joe Shock here, looking at our tropical update for June 24th, 2021. As we always like to begin, we like to look at the Madden-Julian oscillation. This is from the European. You can see we are in phase 1, coming around into phase 2, 3, and then the null phase as we get into the beginning part of July, and maybe phase 4, but you can see mainly the bigger clustering of ensemble members are in those phases 1, 2, 3, maybe coming back into 8 down the road. So you can see that's the European. The JMA, very similar. Phase 1 now, coming into phase 2, and then possibly coming back into the null phase as we begin the first few days of July. Now, phases 1, you can see the development there, but really what looks like it's going to be occurring is phase 2 and 3, and that's the period 4th of July week where things are going to be quite interesting. So you can see all the favorability in the Atlantic Basin. Water temperatures above normal, so that's certainly not going to be a problem. Water temperatures, plenty of fuel, so we could check those two things off. You can see the JMA upward motion pattern. Now this is where it gets interesting. This begins Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. You can see upward motion over the Atlantic Basin. You can see the enhancement with these features coming across the MDR. Maybe something developing in the Caribbean. There's that classic ridge over troubled water look. Week 2, the upward motion begins to move off a little bit to the east. Some sinking over the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean, but still somewhat favorable for development. And this could certainly change in the smaller scale of this, especially if there's a system coming across, which I think there will be. You can see the enhancement of the rainfall still along the MDR here, and also the enhancement off the East Coast. And again, there's that classic ridge over troubled water. Week 3 and 4 look like this. The sinking air is mainly confined to the Eastern Pacific, while you have upward motion over Africa and then neutralness in between. And still, that is enough to have an active African wave train and in close development. With the MJO being in those favorable phases, it can kind of offset the sinking air. And then again, you can see the classic ridge over troubled water for pretty much of July. So here's the European 0Z. The 12Z yesterday was really wild and had some pretty intense members coming into the Caribbean, and has since backed down. But I do believe it will come back in intensity and probabilities as we get closer and given this pattern that we are in. But again, nevertheless, you can see the probabilities are still, 30-40%, when yesterday they were pretty much close to 70 to 90%. But nevertheless, you can generally see that the wave that's coming off now will be out in this area over the course of the next week. And then you can see going through day 10, it continues to propagate off to the west-northwest like that. And then you can see maybe additional features coming off the East Coast and maybe developing as we head down the road. And finally, with all that said, my tropical development favorability for the next, you can say roughly 3 weeks or so, is favorable. No really inhibiting factors across the basin. Short and sweet today. Again, we don't have any named storms, but once we do get something named, we'll have much more detail and a more, lengthy video when the time comes. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.